Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 9 of My Spoken Truth. So, it's been a while since I've come to you. Lots of things happening in my life in the last few years, and now I'm back, and I'm really happy to be back with you. So, today's topic is how are you? How are you really? So, I learned this question in my Life Force yoga training with Amy Weintraub in Arizona about 10 plus years ago. And the question was going as we went really deep into a trauma healing exercise. And the question was, how are you? Or how am I? How am I really? So oftentimes someone asks you, you see a friend, you meet a friend, and they say, well, hey, Donna, how are you? And your automatic answer is, I'm fine. But what does that really mean? So we dig a little bit deeper in, for instance, our Life Force yoga practice, which is all about mood management. And the question goes a little deeper. How are you really? So when you have a real and true friend, they will dive in there. Well, Donna, how are you really doing? Like, what's up in your life? How's it going? They want to know. And they can read through the facade. They can read through any masks. They can tell how you're feeling, what you're going through. They can tell something's up when it is, whether it's good, whether it's difficult, challenging. So I'm asking you right now, how are you really? And I'd like you to fully and honestly answer yourself. How am I really doing? And your answer doesn't necessarily need to be linear. It doesn't need to be, I'm fine, or I'm great, or I'm phenomenal, or, you know what, I feel like crap right now. It can be twofold. You can feel great and be going through a challenging time. It is possible. So I want you to ask yourself, how am I really? And answer that question. And if you need to go a little bit deeper, dive deeper, go more within, then get a journal, get a piece of paper out, and start to journal that answer. Automatic write. And automatic writing means my pen or pencil touches the paper and it does not leave because timer. So if I don't know what else to write or I don't know where to begin, I write that. I don't know where to begin. And when you allow pen to touch paper and not come off for an allotted amount of time, you will see that your mind, your heart, your being will start to stream out information that you may not even have really given thought to, but you've been holding in, you've been feeling. So that's a great question to ask yourself. How are you really? And then I'd like you to explore, to um, kind of be in a playground state of when someone asks you how you are, think before you answer. Because we often ask this question in passing. Hey, Donna, how are you doing? Great. How are you? Great. Everyone's great. And off they go. Well, in that case, it's kind of better to just say, hi, have a nice day. Because when we're asking, how are you? That's a really deep question. How is your being? What are you feeling? What are you experiencing? What are you going through? And so I like to really explore that question with friends and oftentimes with new acquaintances as well, because you can often see in someone's face and their facial expression when something is up, something really good, something challenging. And so you can explore that question further and say, you know what, how are you really doing? And people want to open up. At least most people do. They want someone to hear them. One of our basic, deepest needs in life is to be heard, to be understood, to be loved, to be seen, to be held, cared for. We want to be heard, understood, and seen. And so when we open up to others, not only is the other hearing us and seeing us, but actually we are hearing and seeing ourselves as well. And it's much better to get things out than it is to bottle them inside. So next time someone asks you, how are you? I want you to pause and take a moment before you answer and actually go in. Go in and say, how am I doing in this moment? How am I feeling in this moment? And then answer honestly. If you're going through a challenging time, watch your languaging. Saying, excuse my language, I feel like crap or shit. Well, I'm going through some challenges right now. I have some interesting events going on in my life that are pushing me to be better. Find a creative way out of harming and unhealthy language that is putting you down, that is criticizing yourself, that is judging yourself. Find creative languaging to pull yourself out of a difficult state. And you can use those words. I'm going through a challenging time, a difficult time. I have some events that are causing me to really grow and push myself into new ways of being. And then the other person may be intrigued and say, well, what is that? And how are you growing and pushing yourself into new ways of being? And what you end up doing is you end up opening a dialogue, a beautiful unfolding of a conversation between two beings. And you'll learn some of their coping mechanisms, and they'll learn yours, how you manage certain situations. And there I add another step to have a filter which you use so that if the other person across from you is trying to give you advice, develop a filter where you can hear what they have to say, accept and honor what they have to say, and then filter it for yourself. Is this information that I would like to take on and analyze and personalize and explore? Or is this information theirs? And I simply am here, I listen, and I allow it to let go because it may or may not apply to you. And I challenge you the next time you're in a situation where your beloved, significant other, friend, or even acquaintance offers you their challenge. This is what I'm going through. This is what's challenging me. I'm going to challenge you to not offer advice. So you've gone into the how are you really, you've explored some deeper aspects of the other person's being and your being, and then see when it's your turn, see if you don't need to offer any advice. Instead, be a sounding board. What's a sounding board? Someone is sharing their experience with me, and I am simply there to witness. I'm simply there to witness, to observe without judgment, without criticism, just witnessing, allowing their state of being. And what often happens there is then given a chance, given time to reflect on what they're saying, because it's really helpful to hear yourself verbalize and say out loud what it is that you're dealing with. And then they can start to self-help, to self-guide, because they have the answers truly for themselves. What you can offer is your own experience. So there are ways to do this without it actually being advice, your own experience. Oh, I went through something similar. This is how I handled it. I don't know if that applies to you or not. I don't know if you can use that or not, because all of us are ultimately going through different challenges, and we all will manage them and deal with them in different ways. Coming back to how are you? How are you? How are you really? Let's sit with that for the next minute and ask yourself. Be with yourself. See if you can find an internal answer to that question. How am I really? Is that difficult to sit with? Is that challenging to sit with? Am I used to saying, I'm fine, and just brushing it off? When really, when you're alone, and at times when, for instance, just about to wake up or just about to go to sleep, those vulnerable moments where you feel an overwhelm of anxiety or panic or deep state of depression, feeling down, how are you really? And once you answer that, once you find that internal answer that's speaking to you, if your answer is great, I'm doing great, that's amazing. I want you to keep and stay with that in this moment and see what is it that's making you feel great so you can repeat and continue those behaviors. Make them a part of your life, make them a pattern, a habit in your life so that you can continue feeling great. If, though, the answer is, I'm not doing that well, I'm being challenged in this moment, then I'd like you to get to the root of why. What is it? What is it that's challenging me right now? Why do I feel this way? And there are some really core answers there. It could be I feel unworthy of love. I don't feel worthy of being seen or heard. I feel ignored. I feel invisible. I don't feel cared for. And then you can take that deeper to, well, where does this stem from? Where did I first start feeling this? We apply all of this in RTT, rapid transformational therapy. That is something that you can see me for individually. You can message me and we will look into that together. But for now, start to ask yourself, where is this coming from? When did I first feel this? And that will give you some answers as to where these feelings are coming from. It's much healthier to feel them, to get them out into the open, than it is to bottle it in and never really explore it. Because what you'll start to see then is you'll start to see this as patterns in your relationships. When I feel a certain way around certain people, certain experiences, certain circumstances, I feel a certain way. Well, oh, that's triggered something from such and such time. So you start to become aware of it. Now, I promise you, you don't have to live in trauma for the rest of your life. In fact, through RTT, rapid transformational therapy, we heal this and we heal it rapidly. So there is transformation that can be done, whether it's through coaching, through therapy, through many different modalities, through meditation and fitness and yoga and exercise, nutrition, mindset. So there are many modalities that can help you shift the way you think and feel and believe. We don't need to be in trauma state for the rest of our lives. But step one is really acknowledging and being aware of what is happening and how you are feeling, so that when you can recognize it in your physical body, that is another step towards change. You can start to change your reactions, change your behavior. And that change needs repetition. So I'm going to end on that thought, on that note, that whatever action step you choose, so we go back to our original question, how are you? How are you really? You take a moment, you pause, you think before you answer and how you want to answer. Can this person across from me fully support me? And then see what it is that's triggering this feeling state. Where is this coming from? When did I first feel this? With whom? And as you notice this over and over and over again in your day, in your life, then you can start to take those baby steps of action towards change, actual change. So then your answer to how are you changes over time and becomes much more clear, much more defined, much more purposeful to who you are and who you want to be. So there you go. That's episode 9 of My Spoken Truth. And I will see you next time. Have an amazing, amazing rest of your day. See you.